Hey guys, it's early September right now. Here is an update on my experimental kind of like a self-watering planter. I showed you guys this in the past, but if you don't recall, if you're new to this one, uh, this is a half barrel, right? Half wine barrel. There's some drainage holes on here, but it's all probably about a couple inches above the bottom right here. So there's no drainage holes on the bottom, so there's always kind of constantly water kind of in that area. So what I did was I lined this bottom up with pumice rocks, then I kind of put some wheat fabric on top of it, kind of just to kind of hold it in. I didn't want it moving around, and then I put the soil in. It's kind of peat and perlite. Peat and perlite is the rest of the soil mix. Hey there. So that's what this is made up of. And the experiment was to see how the mangoes did, kind of just sitting in water all the time, right? Because folks always say, hey, you gotta let the soil dry out and all that stuff. I don't really believe in that because I really do water my plants quite heavy, and that's because I have a mineral base, or it's a mix of mineral base or very, very slowly decomposing material. So right now, I'm pretty much at a point where I'm just using kind of half peat and half perlite on lots of my stuff, just for definitely the peat in the mixture, but the perlite, it could be exchanged for perlite or pumice. I'm using perlite just because it's a lot heavier, a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper, right? And it's also a lot lighter. So that's what I'm using because I move my pots around a lot. So that's my soil mix right there. But when you guys do your research on like a soil mix, right? I recommend never using any kind of bulk material within the root system, like underground next to the root system. All that stuff could be left on top to decompose and break down properly, but never buried underneath the ground within the root system. So that's my take on the soil. So this experiment was to see, how is this going to do, right? Sitting in so much kind of wet material all the time. And I haven't had any problems at all. There's been no issues at all. Nothing's kind of rotting, and it's actually doing very well, right? So here's the trunk size. You can probably see how it's doing. I can show you one that's how it's looking prior to it getting this large, right? So this was one that was the same size, right? And the difference was this one was in a pot, but this one did kind of struggle a bit. I didn't water for a couple of weeks in winter and it almost died. So definitely need some water. And this is a turpentine rootstock, so very sensitive rootstock too. That's kind of like gets triggered by dry soil, too much water in the soil, especially when it's I wouldn't say too much water, like low oxygen soil, especially those that's based on bulk material. Very sensitive to that, very sensitive to a lot of things. And so you can see how well this is doing. The only thing is that I have this variety, which is Sugarloaf, and it has been a very, very slow variety to kind of recuperate from the bloom. So new vegetative push didn't really even happen until like the last week of August. So this is actually the first flush for the year, right? And my experience with Sugarloaf has been that it does recover kind of poorly from a bloom. It takes quite a long time to recover from bloom. But we also had a very unusually cool summer too, until the last couple weeks of August. So it's a combination of both that. But you can see how green the leaves is. It's doing really well. You can see, this gets plenty of water. There's always water constantly on the bottom of it, and it's doing well. So I'm gonna be experimenting with several different more varieties, maybe a few more different rootstock, or maybe just some more turpentine on this kind of setup. So the goal is just kind of keep the soil moist at all time, using soil medium that breathes, right? No wood product that decomposes and turns into sludge after half a year or anything like that. So I think that helps out with the combination of that, and that gives it the ability to just kind of sit in water without rotting anything. I'm sure the wood material kind of helps it with breathing a bit also, breathing a bit better also. But definitely the major contribution to that is the soil medium that's keeping the soil breathing. Okay guys, but that's an update. It's been a while since I updated this because it was kind of not doing anything for months. So now finally flush, and it's finally giving about 3-4 inches of flush, so that's good. And we're getting towards the end of summer. We'll see how this kind of handles the fall, and then we're gonna be getting into winter, so I'll keep you guys updated on this if you guys end up wanting to kind of do something similar. Do something similar. Again, don't be scared of watering your mango trees, especially when you have good draining kind of non-compost based soil medium. That's when I say you don't have to worry about it. And you guys could look into some of my other videos about that. I talked about Gary's kind of top part. I talked about the soil medium I use. I've gone through lots of different adjustments of it. I'm pretty much at this point, I'm at half peat and half perlite. It's nothing I would recommend. It's more of a lazy mix, and definitely a mix to be much more lighter because I just move my pots around quite often. All right guys, now look at it. It looks very, very pretty. The new flush. Thanks everyone.